In a small house inside North Korea, a mother and daughter pose for pictures, and a father and son. This, their secret family album, shot on a camera phone, an illegal device in North Korea. Owning one is a crime that could land them in labor camp. Overwhelmed by hopelessness, struggling to survive, the Park family has decided to try to escape. To do so will cost them their every last penny. They all know it could also cost them their lives. The camera phone pictures were taken in January. Months would pass before the escape plan could be put into action. It's all being coordinated from neighboring China. This is Uncle Jung, Mrs. Park's brother. He's masterminding their escape. It's his job to get them safely into China. A former North Korean state security agent, he defected 6 years ago. We can't show his face. Uncle Jung is not his real name. The man driving the car is a serving North Korean agent who's in on the plan. We believe this is the first time a government agent has been filmed openly participating in illegal activities. It was Uncle Jung who'd smuggled the camera phone to his sister. He calls her. He tells her to pay off the traffickers and smugglers with the money he's just sent in. Then they discuss the route. Go to Musan, Jung says. When you get there, hide and then call me. Uncle Jung has already been trying for months to get them out, and he's almost out of bribe money. He reiterates the urgency to the agent. The world's most repressive regime rules the other side of the river. That's Musan, a bleak North Korean mining city. The Stalinist paradise of the Korean Democratic People's Republic is a land of gulags, privation, and misery. Not hard to see why people defect. The Park family will cross the Tumen River, which runs along part of the 900-mile border with China. If they're caught by border guards, they face a concentration camp and an almost certain execution. There's been silence for months now, and growing fears the family's been caught. Then, one day in mid-May, Uncle Jung gets the call. They're in Musan. On his own mobile phone, he's able to film the first to cross. A friend of the family who is escaping with them. He says they're on their way. Jung repeatedly tells him to hurry. Then, with the family on board, they quickly move to a safe house. Finally, brother and sister collapse into each other's arms. Appropriately enough, the scene's caught on a camera phone. There's no audio. Body language speaking volumes, though. So, here they all are, the Park family. By North Korean standards, fairly privileged, middle class. Mr. Park, an ex-policeman. Mrs. Park, their 23-year-old daughter, Won Jang, her shy schoolboy brother, Cho Ha, and Myung Chol, the family's friend who helped them escape.
We wanted to wait for darkness, but we were afraid the guards would find us, so we just jumped into the river. Either way, we risked death, so we just had to go for it.
Now that they're out, Jung hands over responsibility to this man. We'll call him CK. He's a South Korean Christian who, through an underground network, smuggles North Koreans into South Korea. Over 10,000 of them now live there. In the South, there is freedom and food. There's a price on CK's head. Some of his associates have also been jailed in China. He is building a case against North Korea for its extreme human rights abuses. He relies on current information about the situation inside. Today, he learns from Jung that possession of a South Korean film now gets you 5 years in jail.
It's a rare case of defection by a family. Normally you find, individual defectors, but this is a case of entire family defection, and I'm quite concerned with their safety.
The Park family fully understands the ever-present danger.
Our case is different because we are an entire family defecting. It is not normal for a family to all live at the same time, and it's a crime against the state. If we get caught, we will surely be killed.
We discussed that if we got sent back to North Korea, we would take a pill to kill ourselves. We can never go back to North Korea. If this doesn't work, it is better for us to die.
CK explains the trip they are about to take and the dangers involved.
If any incidents happen in China, it will be very difficult for us to handle. But in Laos, we are more capable to help you out. Then, with whatever method available, we will take you to Thailand.
Uncle Jung tells his family that from now on they must stick together. It's live together or die together, he says. He will leave to wait for them in South Korea, while CK will leave to wait in Laos. A people trafficker has been paid to get them through China. Over the next week, they'll travel by any means possible to reach the Laos border, a trip of around 4,000 miles. They don't speak Chinese. They don't have any travel documents. For the Parks, there's time to reflect. They'd left home in such a hurry, no time for farewells. They have only been in China for a short while, but it has made an immense impression on the family.
Here in China, regardless of whether you're a high-ranking official or not, there is no discrimination. I like that very much. We are all human beings and should be treated fairly.
The family's traveling companion, Myong Chol, helped them to escape. He had been to China before and showed them the way out. But this is the furthest that he has ever ventured outside North Korea.
Starting in 1999, I had been going to China to trade TV sets to make money. I also tried to trade items like trousers and clothes. I think the landscape here is nice. I see farmers living in two-story houses. I think that's good.
But North Koreans aren't welcome in China. Thousands get sent back to concentration camps every year. The family is heading to Thailand, where they know they will definitely be sent to South Korea. They make it to a small town on China's border with Laos. The closer they get to the border, the more jittery they become.
Frankly, we feel like we are lying on a chopping board right now. It's like we are gambling, but the stakes are our lives.
Unlike the Parks, Myong Chol is from the peasant classes. His family is His wife and son abandoned him during North Korea's Great Famine in the mid-1990s.
I get more nervous the closer we get. I want to get there as fast as we can. Spending one day on this trip is tenser than spending a year anywhere else. I mean that.
Their trafficker will only give the order to move at the very last minute. For 3 days, they sit it out in a farmhouse near the border, nerves jangling. It's 6 a.m., day 20 since their escape from North Korea. They've just been told to pack up fast. It's finally time to leave China. The trail they're taking through the mountains to the Laos frontier is mostly used by opium smugglers. They've been lucky. No Chinese border patrols. Their traffickers guide the 5 travelers to a broken down barbed wire fence. And then they're through. They don't hang around. They need to get out of the border area quickly. They take motorbikes and then a 14-hour van trip down to Vientiane, the capital. They've been on the road for weeks. The strain of their epic journey is beginning to tell. They are exhausted and sick.
If the Chinese government did not arrest and send back North Korean refugees, we wouldn't have to travel several thousand miles. I had never realized we had to travel across several countries' borders. I know we will be reaching the capital city of Laos in a few hours. So now I'm more hopeful.
I've heard that Laos is the second poorest country in the world. If that's true, North Korea is really poor. Even roads like this are impossible to find there. There's not even a road like this connected to Pyongyang, the capital. I think it's been worth the risk. I am not betraying my country by leaving. I'm just trying to find my freedom.
Chinese traffickers charge thousands of dollars to get North Koreans from China all the way to Thailand. But they demand upfront payment and will oftentimes abandon them halfway in Laos, where many traffickers don't have the connections they promise. Laos is also a communist country. They've had to skirt regular checkpoints here too. Flooding and heavy rain slows the journey even further. They have to drive through the night. Finally, in Vientiane, CK joins them again.
They have followed the same route many people have passed. And it's such a long journey. There are so many different passages here and there. So we don't always use the same route, but the route they follow this time is just one of the routes we used frequently before.
In North Korea, millions have died of starvation. For the Parks, until a few weeks ago, a meal like this was unthinkable. Mrs. Park talks about how harsh it was, having food strictly rationed at home. It wasn't enough to survive on, she says. They're physically and emotionally wrecked, each overcome at some point by conflicting feelings.
She says that it was a really bitter feeling to have to leave the land you were born behind. And when she was leaving, she wasn't sure that she was taking right course or not. But the experiences of the last few days and the observations she made the last few days have convinced that yes, she has made the right decision.
Another 5 days wait here. The journey's not yet over. Myung Chol sinks into depression. Even a simple meal reminds him of how he couldn't feed his family during the famine.
He cannot recollect without tears. Looking at the family, mother and father and children together, that's something very difficult. That's something very difficult for him to bear. That kind of life he missed in his entire life.
나도 이렇게 가슴을 들었으면
네?
저하고 아들 같이 이렇게 같이 숨을 못 잤을 그 길을
If he were here with his wife and child, how happy would I have been?
전제는 뭐 어떻게 봤어? 나도 그렇게 잘해봤는데. 그리고 또
He likes to work very hard in South Korea and make as much money as possible. And he's going to spend his entire fortune to look for his wife and his son.
The Park family settles down to watch a South Korean movie. For them, and for CK, this is a moment to savor. In 8 years, CK has helped more than 100 North Koreans to safety. He wants to stop his dangerous fieldwork and has decided this will be his last trip. He is going on camera to publicize the truth about North Korea. Pressed, CK provides a rare insight into his operations.
It's kind of network. Nobody belongs to me and I don't belong to anybody. But on a specific operation, we agree on the merit of the operation. So we coordinate and work together. And when the job or the operation is over, okay, we are back to individual again. Many people say that I was their mentor or I was their leader, but I'm not prepared to accept those remarks.
This is the Mekong River, where they will cross. CK makes a final check. It's a heavily patrolled border.
This is the national border between Laos and Thailand. I'm afraid many North Korean refugees arriving here may have to cross this river for their safety in Thailand. And unfortunately, the lack of understanding on the part of Laotian government forced them to cross this river illegally. This crossing is very dangerous, and we know cases of failures many times. We even heard of Laotian border boat operator who shot to death by Thai guards.
The boat drivers are finally ready to take them across. They're on the move again. The final frontier. Under the cover of darkness, they make their way down to the river. Away from the camera, they quietly cross the Mekong River into Thailand. The boat drivers refuse to let us film.
They crossed this river just before dawn this morning. Nobody was sure whether they were going to make it or not. Very luckily they did, and now they are on Thailand, and of course they are very happy. But unfortunately, this is not the end of their journey. Now they have to find their way to Bangkok to surrender themselves to surrender to immigration authorities.
지금 상태는 그 어느 때보다 지금 현재는 더 좋습니다.
Right now, I'm feeling better than I have ever felt. I heard that back in my hometown there's a big problem because we have left. But I don't care about that, because they can't stop us now.
어떤 사람들은 우리를 이렇게 다 생각하고 저렇게 하는데 난 다 그거 무시하고 내 정신을 가지고
This trip was very rough up till this point, but if I die now, at least I won't die in North Korea.
살아도 여기서 살겠다는 그런 정신밖에 없습니다.
The plan now, get to the South Korean embassy in Bangkok fast, register as refugees, then give themselves up to the Thai police. After 11 long hours, just short of Bangkok, Thai police spot them. CK is unable to help, but he tries to calm them down. Arrest means they won't get to the embassy. It's not that big a deal. But coming from a police state, this encounter has scared the whole family. They'll be taken to an immigration holding center, where they'll wait while their cases are processed. They'll then join the line of hundreds of other North Korean defectors waiting to be flown to the South Korean capital.
They have just been taken away to a local police station, and I told them that this is Thailand, a great land of liberty and humanitarianism, and I told them not to panic, and they will be deported to South Korea in about 2 months' time.
The caged police pickup, a strange welcome to Thailand, the land of the free. They have risked everything for their freedom, and soon they will have it. Myung Chol and the Parks are survivors. By putting the entire family's lives on the line, these parents have given their children something they never had: hope and a future.